Hello friends, welcome to Political Baba. This is Prasanna Jangam. I'm a political commentator and a Congress party worker. Today I'm going to be speaking on an important and a very special topic, and today's topic is more philosophical, more psychological. The topic that I'll be speaking on today is BJP places a weird fear on people for winning elections in India in different states. Though it is not intentional, obviously, I'm not saying BJP's or Modiji whenever he steps out, he's all guns blazing, going forward, placing weird fear of Hindu philosophy on people, and he's making sure by any way possible, any means possible, he's winning elections for his party. No, but whenever the name Modi surfaces, a weird fear, people feel, at least I feel personally, whenever there's Modiji, whenever there is BJP, there's this weird fear of Hindu philosophy that is beaten down, and these are the custodians of it. For example, if I'm being honest, because I'm a Christian apologist myself too. I've studied it for 10 years. It takes like good 15 hours a day at least, on the least performing day of preparation. So it's no joke. It takes good 20-30 years for studying with philosophical reasoning, again heavy philosophical reasoning, not just memorizing things, but the heavy philosophy of it. Christian apologetics or the world religious, the world comparative religions is a vast study. The weight that Modiji and BJP places on society is related to Hindu philosophy. So it is a topic of the 30-40 years of preparation, and whenever Modiji surfaces, the thing that he reminds people, though not intentionally, but because when Modiji appears, it is this feeling that he's out there, the Messiah, saving the community of Hinduism. And we know that Hinduism is one of the three major populous religions, and Christianity has different sects in it, but the cluster of it, and also Islam and Hinduism, these three are the top three religions, Islam being the most populous now, I think. And when it comes to different religions, communities, different countries, the population of different religions, the other two major religions are scattered all across the globe, so in good percentage. But when it comes to Hinduism, out of the 1.4 billion or so, I think, across the globe, 1+ billion live in one country only, that is in India. So if we can think of the threats that the BJP is trying to, image-wise, again, they're not saying it, obviously, because every other government, every other party is a democratic party, every other party is not completely bent on destroying a community, let alone Hindu, the majority community of the country. So obviously we can think of different, out of the different attacks the Hindu community can be saved out of here. Let's say the physical attack on Hindu community, is that a possibility? So definitely no. So India is a superpower, a nuclear armed power, a 1 billion plus country. So it's not that easy. It's almost impossible to completely come attack Hindus and do something to them. And it's almost impossible. The second thing is attacking them, hurting and harming Hindus and the Hindu community and the people of the Hindu fold economically. So we're not completely dependent on other countries. So obviously, and we are in a position we can do well for ourselves, that we can definitely make people come to us and also be in good terms and make some money for both of us, and live in good riches, or live in good economical statuses. So we're not completely depending on other countries, we're not completely looking to someone else for bread. So it's not that easy for us to go to people and for people or powers to come attack India's economy and completely make us poor and make us beg bread. It's not a possibility either. So let's say even there are many other things in the list that really can where Hindu communities can be attacked. Uh, it's the same with it's the same as the other two. It's almost impossible. It's not that easy. It's almost impossible. But the main thing that the Hindu community suffer, or if one's observing Hindu, one can feel the fear, insecurity of the Hindu philosophy, Hindu theology, which beaten down by the great preachings of the Islamic preachers, the Christian preachers. It's no joke. It's not just the words that they speak, the heaviness that they impose on their religion. And when a person preaches, when a person is debating a religion, obviously when he is so aggressive, when someone is so bent towards preaching his religion to the community, it's a great thing because every religion out there is really trying to preach itself to the world to be the 100% truth. So at least except for one, every religion is obviously is not true. So except for one religion, every other religion, though we may not feel it, though we follow it, we may not feel it, we feel it to be that one religion with 100% truth. Every others may be 99% truth, 99.9% truth, but unless one religion is 100% completely truth, which is the truth, it cannot go ahead and redeem people eternally. It cannot lead people onto moksha, or the way of eternal enlightenment. So if, for example, if I'm a guy who has learned about my religion, I've come be it from a Maulana Sahab, be it from a preacher, an apologist, a philosopher, or a Hindu guru, or a pandit, from whoever it is, and I believe it is the truth, I believe it is the religion and the way that redeems people from their eternal destruction, I'm going to go ahead and preach it, and definitely make an attempt to go, convey it to my friend or the person I care about. So obviously my goal is to save that guy from going on to hell. So it's a great thing to be appreciated, but there are limits, and it is not a law. So it is as much a matter as people choosing what to eat, people choosing what to wear from multiplicity in the options. So, and it is not a law that everyone should abide by this religious theology, religious book, religious faith. So, but there are bounds, there are limitations to it too. For example, if I go to a guy and say, hey bro, or hey sir, nice to meet you, this is the religion that I've learned about, I think you should try it too, I think you should learn about these are the things I've learned about it, I think this is a really a heavier truth compared to the other ones, really the truer truth compared to the other ones. So you should really try about it, you should really learn about it too. Let me know what you think about it. If you want to know more about it, make sure you call me, make sure you text me. I'll definitely lead you in the way, and so on. So if that is received by a person in a healthy spirit, because it is one of the tens of thousands, one out of the hundreds and or thousands of religions, so it is almost as good as nothing to him, unless it is seriously taken by him or her. But the thing is, when someone's really not in a mood, not in a position that he wants to listen to another thing and get his head hammered, get another headache, so obviously when he or she denies it completely and says, hey man, if you can, how about stopping it for now, maybe some other time, I'd love to listen to it, or maybe I'm a Qatar Muslim by birth, or I'm a Christian, my parents are pastors, or I'm in the line of preachers, so I know well about my religion, I know some bit about others too, I think my religion is a better one, and on top of that I do not want to listen to you. So that's where one needs to draw their lines, and obviously do not breach them. So when someone's really harassing someone with their content and theology and trying to rub it off on them against their consent, and that's troublesome for the one who preaches. It's not good for the one who preaches. So if that is not happening, except for that, conversations are taking place, discourses are happening, debates are taking place, people are discussing on religions, it's a good thing for the society, and there's no harm in it. But when it comes to the international market, international apologetics, one thing is assured that in the past 3 to 4 decades, Islamic apologetics, we know about Christian preaching, Christian evangelism. There's this guy preaching about Jesus. He died, he shed his blood, he died for the sins of humanity. Sin was leading people to hell and so on. So, and if you believe in Jesus, you'll get saved and so on from hell, from sin, penalty of sin and so on. And when it comes to the Muslim guy, they were not just preaching their theology, like saying Allah is the one eternal, true, almighty God and so on, and we believe in Him only and nobody else. There is only one Creator, one almighty God and so on. They did not do this. In addition to that, they did apologetics in a heavy manner. They were like completely, or maybe in their own opinion, they were not attacking Hinduism. They were trying to tell them the truth about their own religion because they are now experts, or because they've learned some knowledge, they have learned some great heavy understanding about the religions, comparative religions. So Islamists or Muslim apologists were into the preaching was mainly apologetic preaching, which means comparing other religions to theirs and preaching how theirs is better than this one, how their religion is 100% true and other is not 100%, so it's not completely true. When it's not completely true, it cannot redeem one or lead one to moksha. So while in the process of comparing, because they have to make these comparisons and completely prove that Islam is true over Christianity, over Hinduism, so obviously when they are denying or trying to disprove the statements from the Hindu philosophy, so obviously it will definitely hurt the people or the people of the community of Hindu faith. So that's what's happened, and Hindu philosophy has a completely different, really beaten down feeling in India, and majority of them live in India. Majority of Hindus of the world live in India, but they have this beaten down feeling on their theology, and it's not just an aspect that one can deny because it's their religion, it's their way of life, it's their faith, it's something that has been passed down to them to treasure, to cherish, to protect, and that is being attacked. We have no answers for it. And Hinduism is a thick religion. It's a heavy religion, heavy philosophy, but not. But my opinion, again, my humble opinion, is that it is really under projected. It is not under preached religion. One of the under preached religions in the world for its potency. It is really heavy. I'm not gonna say it can be preached to the world like the number one religion, which is way heavier than the Christianity or the Islam, but it can be presented on equal footing with Islam too, and it is a possibility. So that's where we are at. But Hindu philosophy is not on point, to be honest. There are greats like one of the greats was Prabhupada, and recently I think he's still alive. He lives in England. From what I know, his name is Jay Lakhani. We have Sadhguru too, but affirming the reality of today and the scriptures, just affirming the reality and the real meaning of a doctrine as described in a religious book, and accepting it or accepting someone else's understanding of it and completely going ahead and completely dissecting it, completely beating it down. That is not something that has happened by Sadhguru, I think, from my opinion, because I'm an apologist to myself. So, but when it comes to Jay Lakhani, he was not completely, this heavy guy who was beaten down Hinduism and Christianity. But when I've listened to him, when I've read some material of people like Prabhupada and some good Hindu philosophers, I felt like, man, this religion is completely underrepresented, under heavily posed to the society, and they have to deal with this beaten down feeling. And it is no joke that one have to. It is no joke when one has to deal with that, because the psychology, the mind, the brain is completely beaten down. They have to live with this, not shame, but completely beaten down feeling. And on the lower level, there are preachers from here and there. from any it may come from any community. When it comes to the attacks on Hindu philosophy, people who do not know, who are novices in preaching, who are not heavy but yet they are preachers, they go ahead and attack Hinduism, saying because obviously they are novices and they are not heavy on Hindu philosophy. If they have studied it for themselves, obviously they would know the fact of idol worshipping. When it comes to Hinduism, it's just one thing: idol worship. They are a community of people. They worship, rocks and stones and statues made by human hands. They have been carved out of stones, from wood, from cement, from paints, from limestone, from whatever it is. They are carved. And some go ahead and criticize them, saying, you see this rock of Shivji. If a mosquito flies and sits on it, there's not enough power in that stone to move itself and completely, and get himself rid of that mosquito. And how can he save you? How can he be the Almighty? So, but when one is aware of the Upanishad and the Vedic theology or Hindu theology, the thing is, obviously everyone knows that a rock is just a rock. Obviously, it's not a superpower. It's not a rock that is created in this world, has created the entire universe with himself or itself as a rock in that universe. So everyone knows that, but the philosophy of Hinduism says that when there is an object, because we have not seen, and because from the recent history or from the recent 1000-2000 years, we do not have records of people seeing the invisible or the spirit beings, or we have no idea of what exactly the spirit being, the spirit world looks like. Or we come to conclusions, or we draw images from our understanding of the depictions of the spiritual things, and we come to conclusions, and we draw out paintings, we draw out drawings, and we shape, we sculpture idols. And obviously when that is installed or not ceremonially necessarily, but when it is installed, because there is a medium through which people are able to see the form of God, they are in a place to imagine that this is how their God looks like, and that way it has become the object of worship for people. Obviously the spirit being God is dwelling in it, and it's a different topic and different debate material in itself to decide whether when the spirit is indwelling in that rock, does some part of that rock become divine too? That's a different topic. But one basic standline point for Hindu community is, because it's an object of worship, people are in their imaginations thinking that this is how their God might look like, and they know the name. They know they know whose avatar it is, or they know Vishnu. They know it is avatar of Vishnu. Obviously, they're fine with that, and to stop it for some time before going into further debates. Obviously, we can say that it is because it's an object of worship, because people worshipping the invisible spirit being, using that idol as a medium to know how, to imagine how their God might look like from their depiction. So God indwells in it. It doesn't mean that rock has become divine. Or there is also one understanding of Hinduism that says that everything is God in a sense. It's a different, again, it takes a lot of debate, it takes a lot of understanding. It's going to take good hours and hours of explanation. So it's not the rock by itself, but because it is a rock, the medium of worship from the imagination of people, and obviously God, the spirit being of the Hindu God dwells in it. So that is one of the starting points for apologetics. So the deeper you go, the heavier it gets. So Hinduism is a thick, heavy religion. It's not something you just write it off. You just write off. It's not that cheap or a religion of nothing. It's a vast heavy religion, heavy philosophy. But when Modiji or the BJP speaks about Hinduism or the Hindus, though they might not intend it, but the weird feeling is such. There used to be a movie I watched back in the day. There's a guy. There's a guy in a village, and he happens to be a comedian in that movie, and he goes out to his village people, and tells them that, hey, you see that mountain out there? I'm able to lift that thing up with my own strength. So obviously, for example, let's say that mountain, that boulder is weighing 100 million metric tons, or 10 crore tons of kilos in weight. So we all know that a man can at best can really lift 1000 or less than 2000 kilos, from what I know. So because villages are very cluster like, people live in very communities, everyone's related to some way, even they're not really related, but they are actually related in some way. So when someone goes on and poses, and people know that he's not going to be able to lift it up, and and when people ask him to go lift that thing up, what he says is, okay, you guys gather in 20s, go bring that mountain to me and place it on my shoulders, I lift it up. So if 20 of you can't do it, go 100 of you go, or 200 of you go, bring that thing up to me and I lift it up. So people know it's almost an impossibility. He's not willing to lift it up. Not just willing, he's not capable to lift it up, and he's made a mockery of us. And he may think that he's used his brains out here, but we know what it is. And when it happens in a village, the weight, the disgrace is on the one or the comedian, because he's the one who will have to lift that disgrace on himself, because he's made a mockery of himself. When it happens, when a guy from that village is happened to go out into the city or the capital of that state and performs the same thing, after all the possible criticism or the attacks, possibly maybe, or some people yelling at him, or some people maybe really making a mockery of him and really insulting him or shaming him, people may feel a bit about it, but it's still the same language speaking state. People might feel a bit different about it, but not completely disgrace. The disgrace is not on the people of the village. When it happens outside the state, in the same country, it's just not a village, or it's not just a guy, but it's it's a disgrace to the people who speak the same language. For example, if I'm from Telangana, and there's a guy from Telangana who does that, obviously all the people of that state, though it's got nothing to do with them directly, but they feel that the language of us, or the people that speak the same language as that comedian, will be definitely spoken of lightly. Next time whenever they encounter a Telugu guy from Telangana, obviously they say, where you from? I happen to be from, I'm from Hyderabad. Okay, you a Telugu guy. Okay, we happen to meet a guy who's also a Telugu guy. He used to do this, he did that. It was all fun. It was all weird and stuff. And when this thing happens outside the country and it is on the international level, it's all weirdness, all disgrace, and all weirdness, all disgrace, all the weight of the shame is on that country, all the people of that country. It has to do with our belonging, it has to do with our roots, it has to do with who we are as a nation. So when our when our identity is disrespected on a global image, all of us feel it, though we're not directly involved in it, we feel it. And because Hindu philosophy has a beaten down image in the country, though it is an understated, underrepresented religion in the country, it can be presented as heavy as the religion of Islam. It is a possibility, but it has not happened yet. So it is one of the most underrepresented, dissected, under, presented, preached with its actual weight, or the weight that can be extracted out of the Hindu philosophy. It has not been presented with that. So that is still out there. So there is this beaten feeling, and now Modiji is out here, or the BJP is out here speaking about Hinduism, and though they may not mean they are out here to establish 10,000 schools of training in Vedic thought and Vedic philosophy or Hindu philosophy, and we're gonna make Hinduism the official religion of the world. We're gonna take this religion to the ends of the world and preach it in its complete heaviness, or the best heaviness that we can extract from it, and preach it to the world and convert people in tens and millions, and obviously show them the right way of life, or show them the life of light, the life and way of enlightenment and the moksha. So that way we're gonna save the world from hell, and also bring glory to our own religion, so that the truth that has been given to us from our ancestors is also presented to the world, and because and respected across the globe. They're not saying that, but out of the many things, things that can bother a Hindu, the most defenseless thing that they are, one of the things that they are helpless in, and the thing that tops that chart is the weight of the beaten on feeling of Hindu philosophy. That's a fact. From my opinion, image wise, because I'm an apologist myself too, I know a bit about it. So because it is the Hinduism thing that is brought to the surface whenever Modi name surfaces, that is a thing that strikes the mind of a Hindu, and obviously there is this weird fear, not fear, but a weird insecurity and fear of not wanting to face that, because not everyone's going into exile and preparing for, because they know they will not be able to, or at least not everyone is able to get into exile, go into exile for 3 decades, 4 decades, and really completely prepare for 10 to 40 years and come back and preach the Hinduism, the religion, the theology of it in its complete glory and heaviness. So that's not a possibility. Now someone throws that thing at us, not directly the way, not directly calling it the Hindu philosophy and the weight of it, but because the name Hindu is used, that is what is struck on the first list. So that is the thing that strikes, that is the fear that is struck in the minds of Hindus. So one thing, when Modiji appears, the first feeling is this weird feeling one has to fear, including myself. Whenever I hear of Modi, I'm like, God, we got to deal with this guy, we got to deal with Modiji now. And obviously it's got nothing to do with Modiji. Maybe they don't intend to preach on Hindu philosophy, because obviously they're politicians. They have their own lives. Politicians themselves have a sacrificial life. One thing they cannot afford is time. All day, every day, they gotta be available for strategizing, scheming, cracking down on the opposition, breaking down the weight of opposition. It's no joke. Though it's not a profession that everyone respects in a way, because they're bigger in society, they got power, but it's not something that it's not a profession that everyone has a good image of, if you know what I'm saying. So it's politics, but it's not something that the politicians, the BJP politicians, or the top leadership are about to do themselves by going into exiles and reading for another 30-40 years. No, but but Hindu philosophy is beaten down feeling is the first thing that comes to mind. And one thing is this weird feeling that they pose whenever they appear on the screen. The second thing is they're not saying it, and their intention may not be that too, but though that's a weird feeling, but the problem is of the a voter of a remote village, it is as it is of Modiji too. So though it is on the highest stage, though it is on the heavier platform, but at the same time Modiji himself is also a Hindu, from what I know, or Modiji himself or the Amit Shah ji himself is a Hindu, or the top top leadership of BJP are all are all Hindu, and obviously we are a Hindu country, Hindu majority country. So one thing is the weird fear they place. The second thing is, because, for example, if today if I do not vote for Modi, or if I do not vote for BJP, and tomorrow if not Modi ji, it's gonna be Rahul Gandhi ji from, and when Rahul Gandhi ji steps in, and it happens that Islamic community or the Christian community or the whatever community, another community comes up with a new updated debate material against Hinduism and their deities and their philosophy, and Hindus are not ready with their heavy materials in these 10 years, preparing for the last 10 years, 20 years, and the heavy and even heavier than the before material is used against the Hindu philosophy, and it is beating heavy, and it is hitting the Hindu philosophy, and it gets worse for the Hindus when they realize that at least we could have supported the supposed Hindu philosophy defending or Hindu philosophy circulating religion in the country, because more than 1 billion people in this country are of Hindu community, and they feel bad, they feel guilty that the religion that's been passed down to us, we are the custodians of it, we should have done more, and probably let Modi ji have another 5 years, so that people, maybe he could, though he did not say it literally, from what I know, maybe he could have taken the measures so that Hindu philosophy in the next 5 years, instead of Rahul Gandhi ji, he could have probably made arrangements so that Hindu religious thought and its material to be a bit more heavier, so that or he could have created conditions where our material could have gotten much thicker, heavier, so that we're not philosophically beaten again. So that's the thing. For people to think that way, Rahul Gandhi ji, or Gandhi sir, Gandhi ji, or Rahul sir, with kurta pajamas and the topis, with no mustache, clean shaved mustache, and a long beard, a thick Urdu accent, Hyderabadi accent, and then people may think that this guy is not a Hindu, and we are a Hindu country technically, image wise, and Hindu majority country, and is he gonna be a leader who can work on keeping our traditions alive, keeping our theology heavy in the marketplace, so that we're not completely walking in disgrace with a beaten down feeling, because it's not just 100 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees we've lost from our pockets. It's our identity, that's who we are, that's who we are. So it's not that too, because Rahul Gandhi ji, Gandhi sir of our Congress is a Pandit himself, so he's from the Brahmin community, or it is Brahmins were the ones and are the ones. Today it's social media, so everyone who knows about Hinduism, facts and great things about Hinduism, they go ahead and post it. But for the ages past, the weight of Hinduism and its theology, its literature, its documents, the manuscripts in different forms, they've been handed over to the Brahmin community. They've been the custodians of it, of the Hindu thought, Hindu religion, Hindu philosophy. And today, so if someone feels more about Hinduism, it should be, I'm not saying Rahul Gandhi ji, Gandhi sir feels more about Hinduism than Modi or the BJP top leadership. But I can also say that he feels as much as them, because he is one of he's from the caste and the community which is placed high in the society, who have been committed the weight or the manuscripts or the responsibilities to keep the Hindu philosophy ongoing, the Hindu philosophy and its image and its weight and its credibility, its reliability, its truthfulness, whatever it is, its truthfulness, to keep them safe and take it to the society, take it to the forward generations. So if these things are deducted, because Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan are the states, Rajasthan was a state with great schemes from Congress, but at the same time Congress lost there. Madhya Pradesh, that is one of the states Modiji has won very recently, and also Chhattisgarh. But when it comes to Chhattisgarh is a state that is almost impossible for the Congress to win, Congress to lose. But it's this weird fear, because people feel guilty that we're the custodians of this great religion, and we do not do that. Though we may get some fewer schemes, fewer benefits from the government, fewer employment, fewer jobs from the government, but at least we are standing up for our religion. This is the image that is created. Whenever Modiji surfaces, that's one thing people have to deal with, because this weird fear, because we have been, Hindu community have to deal with this weird beaten down feeling philosophically, because of some great apologists like Zakir Naik, Ahmed Deedat from the past, Christian preaching, constant criticisms. But at the same time, it is a religion. Religion will be criticized. Religion, any content for that matter, if it's out there for people to study, obviously criticism is bound to happen. But at the same time, Hinduism is a heavy religion, and it is just presented. It's not underread maybe, but it is definitely under-extracted, under-presented for sure. So it can be presented on equal foot with Islam. That's a possibility. So because of the fear, because of this weird fear, Modiji have been able to pull it off in he's been able to win 3 states against the Congress. But at the same time, once this thing is done, once the mask or the veil, or when the Hindu philosophy is weird fear because of its beaten down feeling image wise again, which is on Indian society today, if one's a Hindu, he definitely feels it because it's his religion. So if that is taken off, what it boils down to is the capability, the awqat of a political party overall, and one may be good in one area, one may be good in schemes, one may be good in infrastructure and so on, but at the same time, overall there are a few brackets through which we can look at a political party and conclude or come to conclusions on how capable, how potent they are. I'll speak on them in another video too. One of them is, I've also made a video on one of the aspects of those brackets. One of those brackets named what proves the political stamina of a political party. That's the title of it. Please watch that video on my channel. But when the mask is off, when this weird fear, the image, when the Hinduism's beaten down feeling and fear is gone, overall, if we compare any other party, be it a regional party or a national party, there is not another party which comes. There is not another party in our country which is like the Indian National Congress, which is as potent, as capable of taking cash to the pockets of tens and lakhs and crores of people, taking money into their pockets, taking money into the pockets of lakhs and lakhs and crores of people, like the Indian National Congress. There are the YSRCPs, there are the AAPs, AAP parties, there are many other regional parties and national parties, but there is no other party like the Indian National Congress. That's my opinion though. So coming to the topic, this is the weird fear that has been placed on the Indian community, especially the Hindu community in the country. And I think that is the most important thing that is contributing to the victories of just my again my opinion, but which has been contributing to the weight that is bringing victories for the BJP and Modi leadership. This is all about this topic, friends. I really hope you've learned something new today. Thank you for being here. If you are new here and if you aren't a subscriber of my channel yet, make sure you subscribe to Political Baba. Click on the bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new thing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate your time here. I'll see you all again, friends.